Now we're heading over to Zambia, where Jean Tembo, Business Development Manager, is standing by to give us an update on the Zambian markets. A very good morning to you, Jean. Now the SEC of Zambia has approved a registration of the Madison Financial Services shares to be quoted on the LuSE Stock Exchange. Now, what is the reasoning behind this quotation?
The purpose of the quotation is basically to expose the company to Zambian institutional investors, as well as to have their shareholders base grow. The listing requirements on the LuSE Stock Exchange state that you have to have about 300 shareholders in order for you to list. So the quotation is also a positioning strategy for them to move to the main listing board of the stock exchange.
So when can we perhaps see that listing come through for the company?
We don't really have an indication, but we're hoping in the next 2 years. They've also cited raising capital through issue of corporate bonds on the market. So I think that the strategy is also to enable them raise capital on the stock exchange.
All right, let's look at some of the AGMs out last week. We had Zambia and National Breweries in particular having AGMs. National Breweries, now that stock has been pretty flat of late. Talk us through the prospects of both companies going forward.
National Breweries at the annual general meeting reported that their gross turnover had reduced to 276 billion kwacha from 189 billion kwacha the previous year. Their earnings per share also dropped to 280 kwacha from 590. They cited continuous competition from the environment, although consumer sentiment remained positive. In 2010, they had reviewed prices in a bid to preserve margins, but during 2011, they had to revisit that position as it had impacted on volumes. So going forward, they're looking to maintaining a high product quality by renewing their aging plant infrastructure. And Zambian Breweries, another subsidiary of Submiller, the company revenue was up by 18% at 919 billion kwacha compared to 2011. Operating profit was up by 26% at 172.9 billion kwacha. Shareholders' funds were up 178% at 659 billion kwacha. They had made significant investments in pursuit of aspirations. Their Ndola Brewery was revamped to increase capacity at a cost of 86 million US dollars. And some of that money was also raised on the LuSE Stock Exchange.
All right.
The plant is due to be completed.
Okay, there's another company out
2012.
Sorry to interrupt there, Jean. Looking at CAV Mount Capital, also due to hold its annual general meeting today. But at the top of the agenda is that rights issue. Now, what is the rationale behind this rights issue for the company?
This is just to help them comply with the Central Bank of Zambia capital adequacy framework.
Yes, Jean, you can carry on.
So they're seeking to raise a maximum of 90 billion kwacha, and therefore they're seeking authorization to increase the issued capital to 57.3 billion shares from 7.3 billion shares.